G'day guys, my name's Josh, you can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 19, where I'm back in JaWoodle Park 3, I suppose, at this point. I don't know. This is a testing world, and testing worlds in 7 days are always called JaWoodle Park, but never actually christened this place as JaWoodle Park 3, but that's what it is. And I'm back here because I'm going to build the base that I've been using in Extinction. If you've missed the series, it's been a progressive, it wasn't a progressive build really, I built it all in one day before the day 21 hordes. I guess that itself could act as a tutorial, but I wanted to build it in its as a whole. From start to finish, you can see how it works, why it works, and how to build it if you wanted to build something like it too. It works actually in a really good way. It isn't a cheese base, which I know is unusual for me. It does rely on, or melee can be used for it. It's also can be used for range if you want to go point blank with guns, but you can always go point blank with guns. But it is melee, and it does take advantage of zombie drops and like taking the time to reload your guns, eat some food, do whatever, repair some blocks. It's actually a really well-rounded base, which is surprising given I threw it together in about 4 seconds flat. So I'm going to build it today to show you guys what it is all about. I just need somewhere to build it. It's always the case when you come into these worlds, especially now that everything is all lumpy and I've lost my blue block tool, which is always very, very upsetting. I'll just find somewhere relatively flat, relatively clean, like just there, for example. This place looks kind of nice, kind of relatively flat. This will do. Build it up out here, clear the area. Let's get cracking on it. I love this base. I'm excited to build it again from scratch, from start to finish. It's just a really good time. Just kind of going around and clearing out all the stones and like the little twiggy bushes kind of thing, because those are the only ones that can really stop you. Like when you try and put a block down, those ones actually count as a block, and your goal would be like, oh, I'm going to place a block up against this block, and for some reason it'll let you do that, and then it'll either place in the wrong spot or just break even the block that you're trying to do. What's this thing? That's something new. Mining tip. Oh, it's because I broke the bloody mining thing over there. All right, fair enough. That's a cool little icon you get. Now, it's going to clear out a lot of this land. Now, the one that I built in Extinction was what? It was 6 blocks wide. How you doing, Arlene? Always showing up well before your time. Piss off. So what I built in Extinction was 6 blocks wide with a 4 block pillar. You can do the same thing with that as well if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. How you actually support it isn't really the important part. You can make it out of bloody, you know, stainless steel blocks that's 8 blocks wide and 7 blocks deep and whatever you wanted to do. That's not super important. As long as you get kind of the minimums, like the design constraints in there, you'll be a-okay. So for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to go like the standard. 4 blocks wide. We're going to go up 6 blocks, I think it was, from memory. Enough to make the zombies ragdoll when they hit the bottom more often than not. 1, 2, 3, 4. How tall is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. Now, I will add some extra modifications onto this, things that I would have done if I had have known about it before I actually built it the first time, but for the moment, just the bulk standard is going to be fine. I'm just building this out of flagstone to start with. I know flagstone works, in fact, I did it in the streaming world. Hold on, every night I punched up one of these in a day just out of flagstone, and that worked just fine. But there are blocks you are going to want to upgrade to be cobblestone rather than flagstone. Flagstone is fine as a construction material for the non-important parts, but where the zombies are going to be, that's where you're going to want some extra resources in there to keep you safe. Now the span here, from mention, is 6 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way along. Now across the front here, we're not going to put normal blocks in here. We're going to get ourselves the wedges, not the wedge tips, just the normal wedges, and stick them onto the outside just like that. That will work just fine. The idea here being is that when you're in here reaching across the wall that'll be in this block here, you punch a zombie in the face, and if you knock them out, or if they go goopy or get pushed off by their friends, they will fall down the bottom there and have to start again at the other side. So it buys you time so the zombies don't all group on you at any one time. Having this means that worse, the zombies only ever get 2 deep, which is pretty bloody manageable, especially if you've got sledgehammers or shotguns or machine guns or whatever, any sort of gun. Even Blundy Boy just destroys zombies in this kind of base. So having that like little slope and gap behind them is what makes this base as good as it is. I've just continued out the platform here just to have like a little skirt around the outside like that, just so there's enough room up here for me to actually move around in. Now this is what I was talking about, how you can do whatever you want underneath here. Oh, there's like some blocks under here that's kind of interesting. I'll just fill you up with regular blocks just like that. Now you can make this as wide as the top up there if you want to. You can go 4 by 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 or whatever. You can make this one solid chunk of materials. But the whole point, I think, of 7 days and base building as a whole is trying to get the most amount of efficiency out of as few materials as possible, because you can always add to it later. But if you're trying to build something big from the get-go and you run out of materials halfway through, you're gonna be cooked. So making the best use of the time and resources you have is super duper important, I feel. So I'm gonna leave it just as a what is it, 6 by 2 column in the middle just there, all the way along. And this is where this line here is going to be the all-important line. I'm going to put a bunch of full solid blocks. I know there's some contentions around this in the comments about what the best block to use for that is going to be. I like the solid blocks, and I'll explain why later. Just because it keeps, I can explain why now, actually. It keeps you safe from the zombies, and it's also the strongest version of that block. You could use poles, you could use plates, but the zombies have damage buffs against those different kind of blocks. If you hit it with a hammer, it'll still say the same amount of hit points, but I think for poles, that the zombies get an 8 times damage buff against poles. So they'll tear through it way faster than a regular block if that's what you decide to use. So you end up with this kind of little window here. Now, just as a basic form, yes, this will work. You can stand there, you need to sort out the pathing kind of stuff, but like this here as a defense mechanism, that will work just fine until the zombies pile up or until vulture zombies start spawning. So take it as you will. If you have to throw this up for a day 7 horde, you'll probably be fine. If you have to throw it up for a day like 35 horde, you're probably gonna die. So we'll keep expanding on this as we go, but just as a basic kind of like little window of death, that's all you really need there. So what I did in Extinction was actually make like a little platform down the bottom here, which I will do again, just to kind of get the zombies up and where I want them to be. The less time they spend like down the very, very bottom running around, the higher chance they seem to have of getting stuck on a wall if there's any jagged edges and start beating on stuff instead. So I'm going to avoid that this time. I'm also going to get some cheeky deeky stairs. Ooh, what's the best way to do this one going to be? I'll go like there, and I'll go like, yep, just that one there too. And I'll put some corner stairs in. I did do this in Extinction as well. Maybe not this exact design, but this theory was definitely applied. No, get the bloody simple rotation. There you go, just in the corner like that. Just so the zombies coming from down here, once they've gone spaghettified on the drop, they're not going to get caught on any, they're going to get tempted to run into this pillar here and break through it. They're going to run up here, take the stairs, back around to the ladders on the front side, which by the way, is where the ladders go. Just on here, all the way up to the very tippy top. 16 ladders is all you need, saves you a bunch of time, bunch of resources. It doesn't handle the dogs at all, but I'll deal with that in a second. The dogs' little paws can't grab the rungs, so they go up there, easy peasy. Fill up the holes down here as well, just for safety. As Zeus claps his arse cheeks in the distance somewhere, that's fine, I'll deal with him later on. I just wanted to have some sort of platform here for future me to use. It's actually turned into something considerably bigger, actually, than what was in Extinction. When you expand that pyramid stair all the way out, it actually gets pretty bloody big, but that's okay. The more, like, kind of stairs and easier access you give the zombies, especially around any sort of important parts, like the pillars, the better off you're going to be. And the last little kind of bit here, we're going to sell some actual resources, some cobblestone, a nail gun, just make building a bit easier. Doesn't matter how you build it, like time isn't super of the essence. You can upgrade this as you go when you get better tools, just like I did in the series. And we're actually going to upgrade these blocks down the bottom here all the way up to 3 blocks tall to be cobblestone. Now we do this because they can't access the blocks from this side, so those ones don't really matter as much. But down here, if they do go into destroy everything mode, like flagstone will only hold up for so long, you want it to be cobbles. They're gonna fall down here, get angry, run over here, get stuck on here, take a swing or two, but then see what I mean? There's no way for them to get stuck here. They immediately go up the stairs, around and back up to the top again. Just like that. That's what you want them to do. So the pillars here and this little like kind of envelope slot here, this Ned Kelly grill, need to be upgraded. They have to be the strongest parts. The rest of it can be flagstone. That doesn't matter till cops show up. But just like the basic parts of it, the important parts, all need to be as strong as you can make it. 3 high, always 3 high, just to make sure of everything. That's the way it's going to be, a little darling. I've just finished off the cube at the back there, nothing particularly special. In fact, I will go 1 taller as well, because we do need to have some sort of room inside. We don't have to be banging our head on the rafters all the time. Don't want to be feeling claustrophobic while we're putting pellets into zombie brains. That would just be uncomfortable for everybody involved, least of which the zombies. You want to, feel a little bit of luxury when you're on your murder spree. So the nice little room in here, just like it is in Extinction. A little bit cleaner in here this time, though. I'll admit, I'll be the first to admit, I'll put my hand up and say, I didn't build that base as cleanly as I would have liked. I was rushing, I was panicked, it was day 21, I had no base left over for the horde that was bearing down on me. So it is a little bit kind of thrown together in all the worst possible ways, but it does the job, and that's the important part. One of the things I have changed though for this build, with the Extinction series base, I have like the drop chute just at the back of the room, and I wouldn't do that again if I had my time over. I would stick out this little dick, a little like base dick just at the end here, so I can have my hay bales a little bit further away from the base of the building. Now it's usually fine once you get the dog stuff sorted, the dogs don't hang around at the base of your pillar, but I'd still like it to be just that little bit further away. Right there. Let's do ourselves a nice little divot like that. Put some hay bales down into the ground. So if things go exceedingly wrong upstairs, if you need to get out of here, toot sweet. You don't want to risk like breaking your ankle or spraining your ankle, falling out of the tower. So you have that there. You drop down onto the hay bales and you're right to continue your journey wherever you may be going. That's all you got to do with that one. You can like block this up however you want. You can do whatever you like up here. I'll show you what I would do. But if you want to have an escape hatch, you got to put some hay bales down. There is one more super hypercritical important part of this base. A part that you need to have, and if you don't have, you will die. Flat out, you are going to die if you don't have this. And it's actually something you won't notice when you first look at the base as a whole. And that is, just on the inside in here, we're going to get ourselves some plates. Now you can put it on the bottom, but you don't want to do that because you will block your vision to like spider zombies and crawlers and stuff like that if they do manage to get up here. You want to put it up onto the top. Let's go on face. Boom, 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 and boom. I want you in my room. Now you have that, so then if there are any kind of crawlers or dogs or something show up, they can squeeze through the 1 block high gaps, but they can't squeeze through anything less than that. So having those plates up the top there means that you are now safe in here to do whatever you want to do. Now, you can't, as I was talking about like spider zombies and stuff like that, I have had issues with them before where they show up and I have no real recourse against them because they're down below what's going on down there. So what I do is I go like this. I'm going to get my wedge tips just like that. I'm going to stick that, yep, that'll do, just to the floor, all the way along like that. And on the other side, again, I'm going to go like that and stick the wedge tips all the way along. Now in Alpha 19, zombies can walk on the wedge tips again, so they're actually going to pop up and be nice and easy to hit up the top here. They will still fall down into the pit of death if you do nail them in the scone, so nothing really worry about there. But just having those little 2 bits there means that you can pop up a little bit, you can look on over, you can see them up on the other side, and have easy access to their heads to murder them in cold blood. I'll show you that in a second. With those wedge tips put on though, that is the end of like the essentials part of the base, I suppose. From here on out, it's all just like personalization. It's how you want to do it rather than what I'm telling you have to do. It'll work like that regardless really of what you do from here on out. Let's do something stupid like collapse the base or give them an access hole or something like that. This will work as is. The only thing left that we need to account for are the dogs. Rather simple to do, you just got to put a ramp in for them somewhere. Anywhere will do. Now you can make it nice and like symmetrical, I suppose. Symmetricality is always an important thing. So what I did, I just went out a little bit, just see what I mean? See what I mean? Those stupid little twiggy plants are going to steal your blocks and steal your resources. If you're using like, I don't know, wet concrete blocks or something, that's an expensive lesson to learn. So always get rid of those little like twiggy trees. Let's just go out to about here. Doesn't matter that there's a pillar in the ground. It just matters that there's something out here for the dogs to run up. In fact, there's a better way to do this. That's ugly. That's going to take way too much resources to do. I take it all back. Let's go just from 1 block out. We'll go like this. We'll get our ramp and we'll stick that onto there and build ourselves a ramp all the way down. It's going to work just fine. Don't need to worry about it. Just wait for the dogs to get up that isn't the ladder and you're singing all the way to the death bank. Just for the sake of keeping everything symmetrical, we've put 2 doggy ramps on both sides. That's all you need. Dogs will run up there and come the same way around as everyone else. Spider zombies, everything else will crawl up the ladders. Spider zombies will often just take the hop route, jump up here and try and crawl through the window regardless. All you need to do is build your own way in. You want to frame up, you want to do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. That's up to your own personal preference. But like as a functional base, that is going to work just bloody fine. One thing you do need to consider though, rather important things actually, is what you're going to do if the zombies stack up. So what I like to do is put something like this along the top. So if they do stack up on top of each other, they will then get pushed back out into the hole again, either on that block there or the one underneath it. It's up to you, doesn't really matter. The other thing to think about are zombie vultures. Now what I did is I just grabbed a whole bunch of wooden spikes just like this and just filled the roof with wooden spikes, which was fine for regular vultures rather. Regular ibises come over, drink your bin juice, and you stab those flappy fucks in the face with your deadly wooden spikes, and that will do the job just nicely. But what you might want to consider going forward into like bigger and better and badder hordes is probably like a turrets, shotgun turrets, junk turrets, SMG turrets, whatever. Put one up here facing up in the sky, vultures come down, they get shot in the face, and you don't really have much to worry about. The only thing I don't know, because I haven't got that far into Extinction yet, I don't know how this base is going to hold up against demolishers. Now, demolishers path and think the same way as every other zombie. They're still going to come up here, they're still going to run over here and start trying to beat their way through. The only issue is going to be if I shoot them in the nipples, they're going to break these kind of bridges across, and then the pathing trick is done. You break these blocks, everything's cooked. So like it's probably worthwhile at that point of the game upgrading these to at least reinforced concrete. In fact, anything that if you've got the concrete, make everything reinforced concrete. But the important parts are going to be these ones along here. I might just upgrade them to cobble as well, so you can see what I'm talking about. All the way along. This whole little rim, this whole basketball rim here, all needs to be the strongest it can be. Same as the bottom of the pillars, they've got to be the strongest, all the way across there. You get all that upgraded to reinforced concrete or steel, whatever, it'll take a while for demos to break their way through. But if you're up here, if you're sitting up here with a bloody M60, rattling away, flicking the nips of any of a bloody demo that shows up like a goddamn Terry, you're gonna have a bad time, regardless of what you want to do. So, but that's all there is to it. You sit here with a bat, with a club, with a spear, with a gun, whatever. They pile up, you shoot them in the face. I'll show you how it all works, but that is the Extinction Base. And it actually turned out really well both then and now. It looks like a weird little cartoon character, but it looks bloody cool all the same. So to make all of that, right? To make that whole base, it took me less than a full stack of flagstone. It took like 310 flagstone, though I did destroy some along the way, so probably like 300 flagstone and a full stack, almost a full stack of cobblestone rock. So if you get 2,000 cobble, I think a full, how much does it actually take? Let's go like this. How much will it take me to make myself a full stack of flagstone blocks? Let's go here, flagstone. If I want to make 300 of these, I'm going to need just over what, 1,200 flagstone, cobblestone, I suppose. So not all that much. Just over 2,000 cobble will be enough to make all of this. In fact, you can probably save some by not building 2 doggo ramps, not building all the stairs. You can save resources here and there if you really wanted to. But if you get it to its final form, you'll be a-okay. So let's send a horde at me. I'm just going to sit here with a basic shotgun. That's it. And a hammer, because not the nail gun. Didn't find the nail gun Extinction for a long bloody time. Let's get ourselves some more cobble. I always had plenty of that. And let's send a cheeky deaky little horde at me just to see how it goes. I already know how it goes, but we'll go just swimmingly. I just want you guys to see how it actually works. Where are they all? Where's all the zombies? Are they out there somewhere? That's a chicken. Did I not do it right? Nope, there we go, because it wasn't the horde yet. There we go. They're all coming for me now. Come on, everyone come over here, climb my ladders, come up to the top where I'm sitting pretty, ready to rock and roll. They're taking the ramp instead of the ladders. That is something that happens, doesn't matter how they get up there, the ladders are there just for regular zombies anyway, so it all gets nice and crowded, you can always deal with that. Then you just sit here with a shotgun and just rinse them. Rinse every single muppet who comes up the top. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter what you use to do it. I just like using the shotgun because I clearly love the shotguns. But you're close enough quarters that you could use. In fact, let's just prove the point. Let's go shotgun. Let's get Dubsy out. A tier 2 Dubsy. A terrible Dubsy. But Dubsy's going to do the job all the same. 1, 2, put them down. They go floppy. If they weren't caught by their friends, they'd fall down the bottom like the rest of them. Just like that. Easy peasy. No need to worry. Some pretty average weapons will be able to hold down this place relatively easily. That's the whole point of a fort. That's the whole point of a base. You turn lower numbers, worse weapons into an advantage just by having something that's built properly. Easy as that. I'm going to wait until some spider zombies show up and some dogs show up to prove the point. But we've seen this before in action. You can even loot while you're going. If they're going to hand feed you the loot up and over the little slot here, you're going to take it. Just like a bloody P.O Box. Slide it into me chute. Put it inside me. Let me enjoy the feel. Just because I can, I'm going to grab a stone sledgy boy and just start swinging. Oh, I got God mode on, sorry about that. Start swinging with the sledgy boy. If you get him knocked down, if you get him like down and out and going all groupy, they will fall down the hole behind him. So you're pretty right to just have your way with all of them. How are we looking on repairs going? You need a little bit of love. You need a bit of love. You need a bit of love too. We're not really touching much else around here though. You do have to be paying attention and make sure that you come out and repair the blocks when they do feel a little bit worse for them, when they have taken a bit of a beating. I mean, this will work nicely the whole time. Got enough time to reload your shotgun. There's even little breaks here and there when you have killed a couple of them that you can, like, you know, upskill or eat some food or pop some candy or whatever. Nothing really to worry about. And even a blunderbuss. Oh, see what I mean? Even a blunderbuss will do the trick. You can get doubles, you can get triples, you can miss your shots twice because you're a flapping galah. That's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Aim for their dicks, shoot them all in their urethras, put some lead inside them and watch them squirt. So in Extinction, I was doing this with what? The steel club kind of thing, which the steel club is the best of the clubs, and I was spec'd into it as well, which made it a whole lot easier. But you don't really need to do this. If you could manage to build this in the first week, which if you were playing multiplayer and you had someone dedicated to finding cobble and upgrading and building, that would be a no-brainer. You could build this, I mean, I built this base in a day. You could build it in a week if you had the time and someone dedicated to it with no real issues. This is fun, and if they do start breaking through, like a block in particular, you can just start squirming around. You can come over this way. They will follow you to what the nearest block is, unless they've already got it weakened enough that that is clearly the easier way for them to get through there. Turn a headlight on so we can see. Shoot your ladder out from underneath you. Nothing to worry about at all. Okay. We know it works. We've done a whole series with it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of all of you guys. I'm going to spawn myself in some Spidey boys and some doggos, because those are like kind of the mystery units. Those are the ones we've got to account for at the worst of times. Bunch of spider zombies, sure, that'll do. They will go and group you on the ground. Let's also get ourselves some doggos. Don't know why they're spawning on my noggin, but apparently they are. All right, I'm inside. I'm ready to go. Come up here, please, everybody. Excuse you. You want to get over here? There we go. They're all now mad at me. Get our Dubsy out. Doggos first. Oh, he went straight down, but they are coming up the ramps as designed. Look at that. And they just sit there, ready and waiting to cop a shot in the face. The spider zombies too, they're all up here. Before, like in the first iteration of this base, when it was just the solid blocks, they would get stuck down the bottom there, where you couldn't actually get to them. But now, with those wedge tips on the outside, they sit up there, begging, pleading for a shot in the mouth, so that you want to give them a nice brand new pearl necklace, like what they're pleading for. Look at that. Easy as you like. Dubsy's doing the job. Dubsy's loving it. Murdering, eviscerating, disintegrating zombies left, right, and center, regardless of what make or model they may be. The real nice thing about this base as well, as I just sit here and just kill zombies just for the fun of it because I can, as long as you've got the ammo, you can use whatever gun you want for it. Shotguns are especially good because they do have that knockdown. Because if you knock them down like that, if you knock them out, then they go down the hole and give you time to breathe. So that's why I would choose shotguns over this. Shotguns and sledgehammers or clubs if you spec into it. Not necessarily spears and machine guns or pistols. If you got the knockdown, you're going to have a much better time with this than you would otherwise. Because look at all the time you get. I'm using a Dubsy, and there's no real issues because I have the time to reload in between. Even when I completely whiff my shots, plenty of time and not a whole lot of damage actually gets done at the end of the day. Doggo boy's coming back up again. Hit you just like that. Like, I'm just reloading for the fun of it. I'll have, like, rounds in the chamber, and I'm just reloading to make sure that I'm ready for the next wave to show up. So you could use whatever weapon tickles your fancy, any build. You can even go, if you wanted to, let's get to that shotgun. You can even go fisty boys. You can reach through with fisty boys. If you want to go knuckle wraps or steel knuckles, no whackers. You can reach through and tickle their giblets to all your heart's content. It's easy. It's just that simple. Building a good base without any cheese that, like, you know, there's still a risk factor here. If I don't pay attention and I don't keep repairing these blocks down here, then eventually they will manage to get through. In fact, if I had it again, if I was going to do it all over again, I would put those rampy boys up on the other side of this one here. One below where I actually have them now. Not super necessary though, it's just stopping them getting up onto the roof and tunneling through. As long as they're in front of me, I can kill them with no real worries. Boom, just like that. Boom, just like that. Easy as you like. So I know there's going to be comments on this asking I'll just stop the zombies for a second. We'll have a look on the outside to prove that nothing else is really going awry. Just the flagstone blocks at the top. It's a little bit broken. You can upgrade that to cobble if you wanted to. Not super and not as important as some of the other things. Ooh. Now that happens because of my shotgun actually. That's not the zombies breaking that, that's my shotgun breaking that as we go along. So you've got to keep it in mind that you do have to repair those blocks just on the other side, just like that. You're going to go across, you like aim up at the ridge. There you go, see it there. Scan all the way along, that one needs some love too. But yes, you do have to keep in mind to repair those other blocks. But even if you lose all of those wedge tips, that doesn't really matter because they're only there to pop those the spider zombies and the doggos up to hit them. If those ones go away, in fact, I'll just prove the point. Let's go you, get rid of all of these. It's still gonna work just fine. Let's get ourselves, look at all the pile of dead bodies down there. Some more zombie dogs. Let's get some spidey boys as well. Spider, couple of you. I'm gonna hang back in here. There we go. So, I forgot what I was talking about, actually. I got so distracted by, like, fixing up that little hole there. Look, Doggo comes up. Doggo's ears still stick up. That's pretty easy to kill. That's not a massive deal. The spider boys are where the issues arise. But with these wedge tips on the inside here, you can still reach them just a little bit. It's a harder shot, harder than it was before. That's all those wedge tips on the outside are there to do. Just to pop those zombies up, to have an easier shot at them, to make them easier to kill. The horde is over, and the base is fine. Even, like, regardless of, like, you know, spawning extra zombies and stuff like that, it still stood up to the challenge easy as peasy. What you're gonna do is replace those wedge tips, and you're back to being fine again. Not a massive upkeep, resource-wise, to keep it going. As long as you repair those blocks, you'll be a-okay. So I know the comments, as we were talking about before, I know the comments are gonna be like, what about cops? What about rad cops? What about demos? It's the same rule for them as every other base. Shoot them. It may surprise you, the best way to kill or the best way to deal with a cop or a demo is to kill the fucker before he kills you. So, clearly, if a cop shows up, you want to target them first before they vomit and doz all over your base and ruin it. You want to make sure that you kill them as quickly as possible. Demos, same rule. Demo shows up, shoot him in the head until he dies. I know it's a complicated tactic, I know it's difficult, I know it's hard to remember, but if you shoot him anywhere that isn't his tits, then you'll be a-okay. Don't send him off, and you're good to go. If you shoot him in a nipple and destroy your own base, I can't help you. There aren't blocks in the game that are going to stand up to that kind of punishment. You keep exploiting demos in your base, or you're killing corridor, whatever you got, you're going to have a real bad time. That's not the design's fault, that's your fault for being a shit shot. Sorry to break it to you like that. But that base, as far as I'm aware, as far as I've played in Extinction, has stood up to the challenge. It's been a lovely companion for everything that I've been doing, and it's held off the hordes, anything that the game has sent at me, with bloody ease. And you have the convenience of once the horde is done, all your shopping bags just go down there. That's your shopping cart. You go through there later on with your lucky candy and your lucky gogs, and you reap the rewards of the pain and suffering you have sown into the zombie ranks. So there you go. I wanted to do a video about how to build that base from scratch, from start to finish, just because, like, you know, with series bases, it's kind of hard to keep track of. It's the same reason that I did the Wastelands base earlier on in Alpha 19. Same reason I did the Hatch Hallway in Alpha 19, because I forgot to do it for Fists. So there you go. That is the Extinction base. And what a base it has turned out to be. Me just haphazardly throwing some shit together at the very last minute somehow turned into something relatively cool. And I am actually, it's up there with, like, my top 4 favorite bases. I feel very, very affectionate towards. Weird to say about a building, but, like, it feels right to me to be fighting a horde in that base. It's not cheesy, there's a risk involved, but it makes it easier to kill the zombies. And if that's not what base building is all about, then I don't know what it is. But I'll have to come back, continue building bases, continue murdering zombies, and doing all sorts of fun things in 7 Days to Die in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.